Today is Thursday, July 13th, 2017, and you're listening to another episode of Natural Living Homestead Podcast. Okay, so here we go. Let's jump right into it. We've got a couple things we really want to talk about this week. One, let's talk about Saturday Night Live. We did not have our Saturday Night Live episode last week, and the reason why is because we were with friends. We are with our Homestead friends and our family, spending time, taking the day off. We took one day off to spend that with friends and family. So that's why there was not an episode of Saturday Night Live last week, but we will have one this week. Also, if you noticed last Friday's video, Levi did a video on how we save a bunch of money every year by cutting our own hair. So I wanted to go back over that real quick. One, I wanted to give you guys some advice when it comes to your clippers. And I'm telling you, just a $30 set of clippers will save you hundreds of dollars every single year. You know, we were going to a beautician, a salon to get our hair cut every 2 weeks. So that would happen 2 to 3 times a month. It was just a family friend of ours, and we were trying to support them. So, but $15 for a haircut and a few dollars for a tip, that really starts to add up very, very quickly. So what we did is we went back to cutting our own hair. And it's not hard. If you can't cut hair, that's fine. Do a buzz cut. Figure out where you can put the next set of clippers on the next length and maybe use that on the top so you can get 2 different layers. And then you'll figure out the next stage and how to do a fade. It'll all come very quickly. You just have to be patient and take the steps to make it happen. But I also wanted to cover a little bit of care for clippers. Now, they'll last you a very long time if you do certain things. One, keep them clean. Keep the hair out of your clippers. You'll get excess hair inside your clippers. That's not a good thing. Also, make sure you oil your clippers. Previous to using your clippers, while you're using your clippers, and after. Oil those blades. If you do not oil those blades, they will bind together and they will not function after a while. Also, use a very lightweight oil, one that's meant for those clippers that you're using. You can't just use vegetable oil out of the cabinet. It does not work. Trust me, I've tried that. It's a very heavy oil, and like I said, the clippers need a very lightweight oil. Also, another thing, if you guys are wanting to hear certain topics on this podcast, leave us comments in the comment section below, or make sure that by Monday night that you have sent us an email with a description of podcast, and we will make sure that we get it on the next Thursday podcast show. The other thing we want to talk about too is today our family did something very fun, very exciting. Now, we're going to have to stay tuned to Monday's episode because that's when we're going to air that. If you're into homesteading and you're into YouTube, you're going to love this. So stay tuned. Check out what we did on today on Monday's episode. Also, back to the Friday episode that we had last Friday. If you notice, it's kind of like a financial type Friday, frugal Friday. We're going to try to throw those in as much as possible. You see, when you're homesteading and you're trying to do it as a full-time income, on homesteading, you have to be into it all. You got to sell the eggs, you got to do that, do this, sell the meat. And you gotta be able to be very frugal with your money. And I'll tell you, being frugal with your money, just as an example, Nikki and I only spend about $200 a month to feed our huge family that we have at the grocery store. That's not much. $200 a month. That comes out to be about $50 a week. So we do a lot of shopping at Aldi's. Also, we are going to present to you on Fridays. It won't be every Friday, but on a lot of Fridays, we're going to present ideas to you of how you can make money on your homestead. Like I said, you have to kind of dabble in this, that, and everything else. So what we did is we're bringing an idea of one of the things that you can dabble in or get involved with in order to bring in side income on your homestead. On our homestead, one of us has to work full time to bring in that income, while the other one stays at home on the homestead. Nikki does work part-time, taking care of an elderly lady right now, but generally that's an average of 12 to 14 hours a week. It's not a whole lot, but the additional income helps out tremendously. So being on the homestead, you have to really be frugal with your dollars and make them stretch just as far as you can. Anytime that you earn money and you spend it, you're going to have to replace that money. Think about that for a minute. Let that soak in. Anytime that you spend money, you are going to have to replace that money. If you don't buy something, that means that you just saved that money. And I'm referring to things like knickknacks and I'm not referring to things like power bills and such. But also, if you learn how to cut down your power, that's money that you're not throwing out the window. Learn how to cut down on your air conditioning, cut down on the lights on your house, and learn how to get the best bang for your buck at the grocery store. I'm telling you, we only spend about $50 a week to feed our large family at the grocery store. We don't really go out to eat much anymore. I'll tell you, if you go out to eat 3 times a day with a family our size, you'll spend between $80 to $150 a day. Easy. Let's just say I take my kids out to McDonald's, and sometimes that does happen on a Sunday morning when we're running late. We got chores done and everybody wanted to sleep in a little bit, but nobody got any breakfast before heading out the door. Try not to let that happen as much as possible. But at the same time too, it's nice, especially during the summertime, if the kids can get a day a week to sleep in. And when I mean sleep in, 6 or 7, we don't sleep in till 9 o'clock in the morning. That's when church starts. But occasionally we will go out to McDonald's for breakfast before church, and that costs about $30. That's not cheap. Let's say we were to go out for lunch afterwards too, buffet for everybody at Pizza Hut after church. Boom, there's $50. So now we're up to $80 for the day. And let's say that we went out to dinner someplace that night too because we were on the road. There's another $50, $60, $70 right there for our large family at dinner time. You will throw out so much money out that door and just burn it up by going out to eat all the time. So learn how to save money and cook at home. Also, pay attention to this tomorrow's video. We have a special guest on our show, and you'll want to hear what this person has for an idea to make side income on the homestead. Not a bad idea whatsoever. Something else that happened this week that we'd like to get you guys up to date on is the rain. Now, previous to this week, the only thing that we've had are 3 different rainfalls that each amounted to a tenth and a tenth and a tenth over the course of the last month. So 3 tenths over the course of the last month. It's not been much. So on Monday, we had, that was Monday, it was July the 10th. We had 2.5 inches of rainfall. 2.5 inches of rainfall. Not bad. And then today, Nikki said we had, on the 13th, Thursday the 13th, we had 2 inches today. So over the course of the last 4 days, we've now had 4.5 inches of rain. Not bad at all. Now, when we have been getting storms in the past, They went to the north and they went to the south and just avoided us altogether. We've also been able to cut back on our watering because of this. So guys, that's it for tonight's episode. I want to thank you guys for coming along and listening. If this is the first time you've ever watched or listened to one of our episodes, go back and check out some of the others. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.